Have you ever met someone new and they asked you, "What do you like to do in your free time?" Pause and your mind just goes blank. You know the answer in your own language, but in English, nothing, not one word comes out. Okay, that's going to change today. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to talk about your favorite hobbies in English in a simple way, in a natural way, and with real confidence. And I'm going to share 3 of my own hobbies with you so you can hear real examples, not just rules. Hi, I'm Emma. Welcome back to the channel. Today's topic is one of my favorites, hobbies. What is a hobby? So first, let's talk about the word hobby. What exactly is a hobby? Pause. A hobby is something you enjoy doing in your free time. It's not your job. It's not something you have to do. It's something you want to do because it makes you happy. For example, some people love to draw, some people love to dance, some people love to sit quietly with a cup of tea and read a book. All of these things are hobbies. Here's a little challenge for you. Pause the video for 5 seconds and think of one thing you love to do in your free time. Do you have it? Good, keep that idea in your mind because we're going to use it very soon. Now let me tell you about my very first hobby, and honestly, it might surprise you. Hobby number 1, reading. My first hobby is reading. Every single night before I go to sleep, I read a few pages of a book. It's actually my favorite part of the day. My phone is off, my room is quiet, and it's just me and the story. Here's a useful sentence you can use for this. In my free time, I like to. For me, that sentence is, in my free time, I like to read. You can also add more detail. For example, in my free time, I like to read novels. A novel is just a long story in a book, usually about made-up characters. So a simple sentence like, I like to read novels, already tells someone a lot about you. Now it's your turn. Try finishing this sentence out loud. In my free time, I like to. Go on, say it. It feels a little strange at first, but that's how you learn, by speaking, not just by watching. Here's another small tip. If someone asks you why you like your hobby, you can just add because and a simple reason. For example, I like to read because it helps me relax before bed. Short, simple, clear. You don't need a long, complicated answer to sound natural in English. You just need one honest reason. I told you my hobby is reading every night. But how do we talk about how often we do something? That's exactly what's coming next, and it's simpler than you think. Talking about how often. In English, we use small words called frequency words to say how often we do something. The most common ones are always, usually, sometimes, and never. Let's look at them with my hobby, reading. I always read before bed means I do it every single night, no exceptions. I usually read in the evening means it's my normal habit most days. I sometimes read in the morning too means it happens, but not every day. I never read on my phone means it doesn't happen at all. I really prefer paper books. Do you notice something? These words usually come right before the main verb. I always read. I sometimes read. Simple, right? Here's a quick question for you. How often do you do your favorite hobby? Do you do it every day? Once a week, try answering with one of these frequency words. Pause the video and say your answer out loud. And here's a small bonus for you. You can also say exactly how many times a week or month. For example, I read 3 times a week, or I go swimming twice a month. Twice just means 2 times. It's a small word, but it sounds very natural, so try to remember it. All right, reading is a calm, quiet hobby. But my next hobby, it's a lot more messy. Let me explain. Hobby number 2, cooking. My second hobby is cooking, and I have to be honest with you, I am not a perfect cook. Last month I tried to make pasta for a friend, and I got so excited talking to her that I completely forgot about the pot. Pause. The pasta burned badly. We ended up ordering pizza instead, and we still laugh about it. But even with my little cooking disasters, I love it. Here's a phrase that's a little more advanced but really useful. I'm really into. When you're really into something, it means you love it, you're excited about it, and you spend a lot of time on it. So I can say, I'm really into cooking, or I've been cooking for about 3 years now. That second sentence uses a pattern. I've been verbing for amount of time to talk about something you started in the past and still do today. Try this out loud. I'm really into. Fill in the blank with your own hobby and say the full sentence with confidence. By the way, if you want to talk about how you started a hobby, you can say, a friend of mine taught me how to cook. Or I learned it from watching videos online. These are great, simple ways to add a little story to your answer instead of just one short sentence. A little detail makes your English sound much more natural and much more like a real conversation. Cooking is something I love, but what about the hobbies we don't love? There's actually a really natural way to talk about that too, and most learners never hear it. Talking about things you don't enjoy. Not every activity is your thing, and that's completely normal. In English, instead of saying, "I don't like it," which can sound a little strong, native speakers often say something softer like, "I'm not really into," or "It's not really my thing." For example, I could say, "I'm not really into sports. Watching a football game just isn't my thing." This sounds friendly and natural, not rude at all. Quick question for you, what's something you're really not into? Maybe it's a sport, maybe it's a type of music, maybe it's something else completely. Say your answer out loud using one of these phrases. Now let's slow down for a moment because my third hobby is a little different from the first two. It's quieter, it's more personal, let me tell you about it. Hobby number 3, hiking. My third hobby is hiking. On the weekends when the weather is nice, I like to walk in the mountains near my home. There's no music, no phone calls, just my own footsteps and the sound of the wind. Here's something interesting about hobbies. Sometimes we don't just do them for fun. Sometimes they help us in a bigger way, I can say. Hiking helps me relax. The word relax simply means to feel calm with no stress. After a long, busy week, being outside in nature helps my mind feel calm again. There's also a common expression. It helps me clear my head. This means it helps you stop thinking about problems for a while so your mind feels fresh again. So the full sentence would be, hiking helps me clear my head. Try this sentence with your own hobby. Your hobby helps me relax. Say it out loud even if it feels a little slow at first. That's completely okay. I think it's nice that hobbies aren't all the same. Reading is calm and quiet. Cooking is fun and a little messy. Hiking is peaceful and helps me think clearly. Your hobbies probably feel different from each other too, and that's a great thing to mention in a conversation. You could say, "I have 2 hobbies that are really different. One is calm and one is really active." That's already a full, interesting sentence. So now you know 3 of my hobbies and you have some great new sentences. But there's one more skill you need, because a conversation isn't just about talking about yourself. It's about asking questions too, a hobby you want to try. Before we move on, let's talk about one more idea, a hobby you don't have yet but you'd love to try one day. This happens to everyone. Maybe you've watched a video of someone painting or dancing or playing the guitar and you thought, "I wish I could do that." In English, there's a lovely, simple way to say this. I've always wanted to try. For me, that sentence would be, I've always wanted to try painting, but I've never had the time. Notice how this is a little different from our other sentences. It's not something you do now, it's something you dream about doing in the future. Here's your challenge for this part. Think of one hobby you've never tried, but you'd love to. Say it out loud with the pattern, I've always wanted to try. It's a wonderful sentence to use with new friends because it opens up a longer, more personal conversation. Now that you can talk about your own hobbies, the ones you love, the ones you're curious about, even the ones that aren't your thing, there's one more important skill left. Turning this into a real, two-way conversation. Asking someone about their hobbies. If you want to start a real conversation, you need to ask questions. Here are 3 simple ones you can use with anyone. What do you do in your free time? Do you have any hobbies? What are you into these days? Notice that last one uses the phrase we already learned, into, but now as a question. It's a friendly, casual way to ask what someone enjoys right now. Let me show you how this sounds in a real, short conversation. Imagine I'm talking with my friend Alex. Alex says, "Hey Emma, what do you do in your free time?" I say, "Oh, I'm really into reading and cooking. What about you?" Alex says, "I'm not really into reading, but I love hiking." I say, "No way, me too. How often do you go?" Alex says, "Usually once a week on Saturdays. It really helps me clear my head after work." I say, "That sounds amazing. We should go together sometime." Alex says, "Definitely, I'll text you next weekend." Did you notice how natural that sounded? No difficult grammar, no rare words, just simple sentences we already learned today, put together in a real conversation. This is exactly the kind of exchange you can have with a coworker, a classmate, or even someone you just met at a party. Now it's your turn again. Pause the video and imagine someone just asked you, "What do you do in your free time?" Answer out loud using your own hobby. Let's review. Okay, let's quickly go over everything we learned today. A hobby is something you love doing in your free time, not something you have to do. Use "in my free time I like to." To introduce your hobby simply, use "I'm really into" for something you love and "I'm not really into" for something you don't enjoy. Use frequency words like always, usually, sometimes, and never to say how often you do something. Use "I've always wanted to try" to talk about a hobby you'd like to start one day, and to start a conversation, just ask, "What do you do in your free time?" Now here's your speaking